To start the first round, we'll go ahead and each draw one card, and we have the Mustering of the Rohirrim. Now, you might be noticing I'm drawing blue or spirit cards in my Rohan deck, and I don't have any spirit resources. Well, you'll see why I have that, hopefully. Oh, we got Resourceful. Cool. Hey, look at this as a secrecy card. This is great. We are at 20 threat, so this card, instead of costing 4, costs 1. Awesome. Moving to the planning phase, we're going to go ahead and do both players at the same time. Technically, the Hobbits are doing it first since they're first player. So the first thing they'll do is they'll spend Merry's resource, 1 blue resource for Light of Valinor, attached to a Noldor or Sylvan character. So that's going to go on Gildor and Glorian. Attached hero does not exhaust or commit to the quest. Great. Then we have Resourceful. Resourceful normally costs 4, but we are at 20 threat. So that means we can use this Secrecy 3, so it only costs us 1 to play this card. The attached hero collects 1 additional resource during the resource phase, each round. So generally we need the most lore resources, so I'm going to spend Sam's resource to go ahead and put that out on Pippin. Finally, because we have Sam, we can play Bill the Pony for free. That's its ability here. Lower the cost to play Bill the Pony by 2 if you control Sam Gamgee, and it cannot have attachments. Each Hobbit character gets +1 hit point. That includes Frodo. So normally, Frodo has 2, Merry has 2, Pippin has 2, and Sam has 3 health. Kind of low. They all now have 3, 3, 3, and 4. For our Rohan deck, we have a pretty great start here. We will spend the 2 leadership resources that we have to play Steward of Gondor. And we're going to place that on Grimbeorn. So it's going to generate tactics resources. We're going to immediately exhaust that. So we have a total of 3 tactics resources. And we're going to use 1 of the 3. So we only have 2 remaining to play the Rohan Warhorse. Listen to this card. So it has to be attached either to a tactics or a Rohan hero. After the attached hero participates in an attack that destroys an enemy, exhaust Rohan Warhorse to ready the attached hero. That means that if Grimbeorn can kill something, he can ready and be ready to do his response a second time. And now he has a mount, he's going to have +1 attack. So his total attack is 4 now instead of 3. Now we'll go ahead and move to the questing phase. So I think for sure we're going to send Pippin, so that's for 2. We're definitely going to send Sam for 3. That's a total of 5. And I think we're going to go ahead and send Bill the Pony for 6. So 6 questing so far on this side. We have 4 threat already in the staging area. On the Rohan side, I think the only one we're going to send is Gildor. We don't have to exhaust him thanks to the Light of Valinor, but that'll make us questing 9 compared to the 4. Oh, or do I take the chance? No, I think I've got to do that because if we have to do any sort of hide test, I really need both of these guys ready because Grimbeorn is going to be useless in hide tests. Hide tests use willpower, so I need more willpower. So now that we have our characters committed to the quest, we'll go ahead and reveal 2 cards from the encounter deck, at least. You're going to find that in the Saga, Surge is a very common keyword. So our first one is the Green Hill Country. While Green Hill Country is the active location, characters get +1 willpower while committed to high tests. Ooh, that is a nice location. That doesn't happen often, but that added 2 threat, so we're now at 6 compared to our 9 willpower. And then we'll flip our second one. Oh my gosh, another Black Rider. That's going to add 4 more threat. That'll push us up 10 to our 9. Bummer. I do think because I have Merry here, I might as well do this. I'm going to exhaust him. He is going to use his ability. We're going to reduce our threat by 4. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. We are at 16 threat. Now, unfortunately, we failed at questing. We quested for 9, and there's 10 threat in the staging area, so we're each going to have to increase our threat by the difference. So our Rohan deck is at 31, and we move up to 17. And of course, you guys, I flipped a Black Rider. It says hide 2. You know what that means? We need to do a hide 2 test. I can't just ignore that. So I am going to exhaust Gildor and Glorian and Elfhelm. So we have a total of 5 willpower that we're committing to this hide 2 test. Then what we do is we take the encounter deck, We draw however many cards it says the high test is for, so it says 2. So we draw the top 2 cards. We flip them over. Oh, both 0 threat, so we could have had nobody committed to the high test and we would have been fine. But since it was blank, we succeeded in hiding, so the 2 Nazgul out don't immediately engage us and attack us. Unfortunately, since we did not quest successfully, I cannot move to another location, so I think I'm going to go ahead and have to do some sort of engaging of these enemies to get them out, get that threat out of the staging area. So right now, our engagement costs here are 35, but we have Pippin and we have 4 hobbits with that hobbit deck, so each of their engagement costs are 39. Nobody is nowhere near that for threats, so we wouldn't have to engage them. But I think our Hobbit deck is going to engage 1 Black Rider. Our Rohan deck will not do anything. We'll leave 1 Black Rider in the staging area. What's nice is when that Black Rider engages us, Sam Ganji's response happens. He now readies, and he's got +1 attack and +1 willpower and +1 defense. Also, Pippin's ability will activate because the engagement cost is higher, and we get to draw a card. And so we have the Song of Travel. Oh, nice. Moving to the combat phase, we'll go ahead and give the Black Rider the Shadow card. Now, normally, we would have to defend with one of our poor little hobbits. That wouldn't go so well. I have Grimbjorn, though, ready to rock. He's Sentinel. So he's going to go ahead and exhaust to defend. He has 3 defense, but this Black Rider is attacking for 5. So right now he's going to take a minimum of 2 points of damage. And our shadow effect is the attached enemy gets +1, +2 instead if you have failed a high test that round. Okay, so he attacks for 6. That means 3 points of damage to Grimbjorn. Ow. Now, though, Grimbjorn will go ahead and spend 1 resource to immediately do his response. He has 4 attack -2 shield, so he only has 2 shield, and he'll have 2 total of attack, so that will place 2 points of damage on this Black Rider. We're going to need to get Grimbjorn a little stronger if he's going to be able to take out these Black Riders. We do still have 2 hobbits ready, Frodo and Sam, but Sam's total attack right now is 2, and Frodo's is 1. That doesn't even go past the shield of the Black Rider, so that's not going to work. So I think we're going to go ahead and simply end the round. So we'll refresh, and I'll refresh the Rohan deck off screen. We'll move Frodo over to the Rohan deck, and then we will generate resources. And Pippin will gain 2 resources instead of 1, and I'm going to go ahead and keep the Steward of Gondor exhausted for Grimbjorn, so he'll generate 3 resources. We also will need to increase threat, so our Hobbit deck will move up to 18, and our Rohan deck will move up to 32, and then each of our players will draw a card, and so we have the Song of Hope. Oh, that actually might be nice, and the Ride to Ruin. For this planning phase, a Rohan deck will only play 1 card, Grimbold. He's pretty awesome. He's going to give them more willpower, and he has a really nice ability if we need to protect the Hobbit deck. So we'll spend 3 of our resources that are tactics to play that. Then our Hobbit deck is going to use all 5 of his resources. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep. He'll use 4 for the Treebeard card. I love Treebeard. And Treebeard will be great because he can soak some damage. He also has some nice attack and willpower. The only thing is he comes into play exhausted. Oh, and don't forget, he generates his own resource too, which is awesome. So we'll play Treebeard out. And if you know the story at all, it's totally thematic that Merry and Pippin have Treebeard with them. And then we're going to have the Song of Travel. But this Song of Travel is going to go and be placed on Gildor so that now the Rohan deck has a blue resource. Awesome. For questing this round, we definitely will have Gildor for 3. Then I think we're going to go ahead and send Frodo for 5. And then let's take one more chance. Let's do Grimbold for 7. 7 on this side. And we'll go ahead and send Pippin for 2, Sam for a total of 3, and Bill for 1. Oh, I'm kind of taking a stretch here, but I really want to succeed. So we've got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, plus the 7 that we had before. That'll be 13 to 6 in the staging area. Let's go ahead and reveal our encounter cards. And our first one we have is Peril and Surge. Oh, Peril. Okay, this is something new with the Saga. So whenever you have a Peril card, you and only you can read this card. So technically, let's say I was playing this co-op, I would not share what this card is to any other player. I would read it myself, and then I'd resolve it on my own, and nobody else can help me. So it is important to remember whose card is whose. So this is the Rohan Dex card, and it is Peril and Search. I told you there's going to be lots of Search. When revealed, attached to a hero counts as a condition. It says, after a player fails a high test, discard the attached hero. Wow. Okay, well, you know what? I'm going to put that on Frodo, because if I fail, I'll just fail the quest and start over. I don't want to lose any of my heroes, okay? So if I do fail a high test now, I'll just start the quest over. Yeah. Our second one is Stock Road. While Stock Road is in the staging area, add 2 to the total threat of the discarded cards when players resolve high test. Gross. Okay. Wow. That just made high test harder. And then added 3 threat to the staging area. And then our second card we have is a Surge, of course. When revealed, the first player must either exhaust the 1 ring or raise their threat by 3. Let's exhaust the 1 ring. I haven't used the 1 ring, so let's go ahead and exhaust it. And that gains Surge, so that just means we go to the next card. And we have an Evil Crow. While Evil Crow is engaged with a player, that player adds 1 to the hide value for each hide test he makes. Definitely going to use Mary's ability. I'll exhaust Mary. They'll reduce their threat from 18 to 16. We quested for a total of 13, and there's 11 in the staging area. That means we only got 2 progress. I was hoping for more than that, but we only have 2 progress. Bummer. Bag N needs 3, so we don't get to complete that and move forward. Unfortunately, we cannot travel, so we'll move to the engagement phase. We have to engage the Evil Crow. Even with the +3 engagement cost, that would still engage our Rohan deck. So we have the Evil Crow that's going to get a shadow card, and the Black Rider that is on the Hobbit deck will also get a shadow card. So let's see. This Evil Crow is attacking for 0, which is actually kind of funny. So we'll go ahead and exhaust Elfhelm to defend against this, and we get a shadow effect. After this attack, the attacking enemy engages the next player, then makes an immediate attack. Oh, that is terrible. That means it's going to go to the Hobbit deck. This is pretty terrible, you guys. We're going to have to bring the Evil Crow over here. All of my characters are exhausted, so we're going to have to go undefended. We only have barely any health to soak an attack, so this is going to stink. So we get a new shadow card. At least the Evil Crow's attacking for 0. We do get a shadow effect. Return attacking enemy to the staging area after this attack. Oh, okay. Well, it does no damage, but it's going to go back to the staging area and add more threat. Wonderful. I love it. Okay, so now when this Black Rider would attack, by the way, it's attacking for 5. We could use Grimbeorn to defend, but there's a potential he could get killed. So I have Grimbeold here. He has a combat action that says discard him to choose an enemy engaged with a player. That enemy cannot attack the player this phase. So we're going to discard Grimbeold so that we do not have the Black Rider attack. Just curious. It didn't even have a shadow effect. We could have soaked the attack, but I think that's still better that we don't do that. But we are going to play the Valiant Sacrifice using Elfhelm's 1 leadership. This says, after an ally card leaves play, that card's controller draws 2 cards. So 2 cards for our Rohan deck. So we have another Ride to Ruin. Oh, yes. And we have an Eothane. Perfect. Well, you guys, somehow we're still alive. Just barely. We're going to go ahead and end the round. Our Hobbit deck will move up to 17 threat. That's awesome. But our Rohan deck will be at 33. Yeah, I got to start thinking about his threat. We'll go ahead and refresh everyone. We'll move our first player, which is Frodo, right on over to this deck. And yeah, we've got a lot of Frodo resources, which is actually kind of nice. We will then generate resources, and I will do that off camera, and then we'll each draw a card. We have Gandalf, and we have the Song of Travel. Nice. For this planning phase, our Hobbit deck is going to go ahead and play Song of Travel, spending one of Frodo's resources, and then playing the Warden of Healing, spending the 2 Pippin resources, and then Song of Hope is free. These 2 are both going to go on Sam Gamgee. Okay, we want one of our heroes for sure to get a ton of songs because I'm hoping to get Fireside Song. I've got 3 of them in this deck. If I can get one of those out, that's going to blow up our willpower. I just need to find them. So both of these on Sam. And then this Warden of Healing. This Warden of Healing will be amazing because it's going to allow us to start healing Grimbjorn because he only has 2 health left. So we'll put him out as well. We'll then go ahead and play Gandalf here, using 3 out of the 4 resources from Grimbjorn, and then 1 from Elfham and 1 from Gildor. That's the total of 5. We have a response. After Gandalf enters play, either draw 3 cards, deal 4 damage to one enemy in play, or reduce your threat by 5. Well, we're going to deal 4 damage to that Black Rider. That 4 straight damage plus the 2 already on it, 6. That is gone. Whew! That feels good. Thank you, Gandalf. And we have another quester. We have ourselves a lot of characters over here on the Hobbit side, which is good because we're going to need it to be able to push ourselves to the next round. So I'm going to exhaust Frodo for 2 for questing, Treebeard for 2, that's a total of 4, Bilbo for 5, Sam 6, 7, 8, and I think, should I stretch it? Because I can always, if nothing else, use the Warden of Healing. So 10. We'll do 10 from the Hobbit deck. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And I can always, with that Song of Hope, use that one resource for another willpower. On the Rohan side, we're going to go ahead and quest with Gandalf for 4 and Gildor for 3. That's a total of 7. So we're going for 17 questing. Unfortunately, though, there's a total of 11 threat in the staging area. Man, just having a hard time keeping up. And there's another 3, the Marsh. After a player fails a hide test, shuffle a Nazgul enemy from the discard pile into the encounter deck. Wonderful. And we have Pathless Country. Pathless Country gets +4 quest points while it's in the staging area. So that just added 5. So plus 11, that's 16. We got just enough to be able to finally get through Bag End. Placing one more progress here, says after Bag End leaves play, each player draws 1 card for each Hobbit hero they control. I was kind of hoping to do that last round, so at least our Rohan deck, we get to draw 1 card. But yeah, this time, it's all the Hobbit deck. We'll draw 4 cards, and this is a victory location. 4 cards is a ton. In this Hobbit deck, it's a perfect time. It has no cards in its hand. Master of the Forge, awesome. Song of Kings, yes. Get that on Grimbjorn. Rosie, sweet. And our 4th one, Fireside Song. Okay, this is just what we needed to jumpstart this deck. Unfortunately, we're not going to be able to move to the next quest card because we still need 1 progress on the actual quest card and we didn't get it. So for the travel phase, we're going to move to this stock road. I got to get this out of here because while it's in the staging area, you add 2 to the total threat whenever you are having a hide test. So, but when we travel here, we have to make a hide 1 test. So I'm going to go ahead and exhaust Mary for 2. Do I want to exhaust the Warden of Healing? I think I'm going to stretch it because I really need the Warden of Healing. So we'll reveal this and no threat. Awesome. If that had threat and we would have lost, we just lost the game right there because Frodo has that condition. Okay, so the stock road will be the active location. We just got 3 threat out of the staging area. You know, I'm realizing I could have used Sam's Song of Hope to push us to the next stage, but I think I'm actually going to hold anyways because I've got such a great hand for our Hobbit deck. Let's get all of that out before we jump to the next stage. I don't remember what happens. I've only played it once, so I can't remember exactly what goes on, so this will just keep us protected. Okay, during the encounter phase, we are going to optionally engage the Evil Crow. The Evil Crow has an engagement cost of 29. Our threat is only 17. So that means we can ready Sam, and because of Pippin, we can draw another card. Oh, we have Barlin Butterbur. Thanks for 1 less card in our hand, sir. We'll go ahead and place a shadow card on that Evil Crow. We are going to use Grimbjorn because he's Sentinel. He can defend for this attack. So we'll flip this. And it says, return the attacking enemy to the staging area after this attack. That's fine, because guess what? Grimbjorn can still do his response, At least that's how I understand it. You guys let me know if you disagree. But from what I understand, I can exhaust Grimbjorn, use his response, which I spend 1 resource, and he can do an immediate attack with -2 shield. That takes out the Evil Crow. Doesn't even matter that it's going back to the staging area. That's awesome. And then we can attach, or we can exhaust the Rohan mount, and then that will allow him to be ready again if he wanted to defend, which is really cool. But so far that hasn't really been needed, but I can tell you it will be soon. We've now completed the combat phase. I'm going to go ahead and exhaust our Warden of Healing so that Grimbjorn now goes from 3 damage only to 2, thank goodness. We'll unfortunately at the end of the round have to discard Gandalf. I wish I could keep him out. We will move our Frodo over to the Rohan deck. We'll refresh. Each of us will increase our threat, so the Rohan deck will be at 34. And the Hobbit deck will be at 18. And then we'll go ahead and have each player draw a card. Oh yes, we have another Rohan Warhorse and an Ent draft. That's going to be great for Grimbjorn. During the planning phase, our Rohan deck will go ahead and play Mustering of the Rohirrim using one of the resources from Gildor. This will allow us to search the top 10 cards of your deck for any one Rohan ally and add it to your hand. Then shuffle the other cards back into your deck. So 10 cards. 1, we could potentially take that one. 2, 3, 4, same one. 5, 6, that's Rohan. 7, 8, oh man, 9, and 10. Okay, so we've got basically 3 different Rohan allies we could potentially put into our hand. So I think I'm going to keep this Snowborn Scout, and then I'm going to go ahead and play it along with playing this Westfold Horse Breeder, and that will be 1 more Gildor resource and 1 Elfhelm resource. The Snowborn Scout says after Snowborn Scout enters play, choose a location and place 1 progress on that location. So we'll go ahead and place 1 on, let's do Stockhelm, might as well, because we need to get rid of it. And then for the Westfold Horse Breeder, we get to search the top 10 cards of our deck for a mount and add it to our hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And we have a mount. Oh man, I need Guthwine so bad. Yes, Armored Destrier. That is perfect for Grimbjorn. So I'll put that into my hand, and you'll see why that's amazing. For our Hobbit deck, we're almost going to play our entire hand. You'll see why. First, Ent Draft. We have 2 resources on Treebeard, so we're going to go ahead and use one of those to play Ent Draft. That's going to go on Grimbjorn. He now has 7 health. We can do that because we control an Ent character, and then it can go on any character at all. So it can go on a teammate, which is part of the reason why I love this game. So cooperative. Then we have Song of Kings. I'm going to go ahead and spend 1 resource from Pippin to play that one. But just like the Ent Draft, this Song of Kings is not going to go on any Hobbit. Instead, what it's going to do is go onto Grimbjorn. First of all, Grimbjorn now is going to be a leadership hero. That means he's a leadership hero with a mount. He gets +1 shield. So now he has 4 shield and he has 4 attack. Sweet. And now his resources are considered leadership. It really helps for the cards that we have in our hand to play them. Then, I'm also going to play Rosie. We'll play Rosie. They'll spend the 2 resources from Sam. Her ability is awesome. We can exhaust her to choose a Hobbit hero that we control, and we can add her willpower to any of their specific stats of willpower, attack, or defense for that phase. And then last but not least, why not play a Fireside Song? That's going to use the 2 resources from Mary, but this will give the hero +1 willpower for each song attached to it. We'll put that on Sam. Sam will now have 3 songs attached to him. Now his willpower is 6. And just so you guys can see, this is now my hand for the Hobbit deck. I played all of those cards. I love it. Moving to questing, we have a total of 11 threat in the staging area. So we're going to go ahead and send Gildor, which I don't have to exhaust him. That's 3. Then we have Frodo for a 2 for a total of 5. And then the Westfold Horse Breeder. That will be a total of 6. Ooh, that's still not a ton. You know what? Let's do it. Elfhelm for 8. No, you know what? We've got Sam. Let's leave it at 6, and that way I have enough here for high techs. So 3, 4, 5, 6. We'll add another 6 with Sam for a total of 12. We'll add Pippin for 13, 14. We'll add Bill the Pony for 15 and Treebeard for 16, 17. 17 to 11. Let's do this. So we'll flip our first one. We have the Evil Crow. Yeah, we know what that is. Okay, then we will flip the next card. This is for our Hobbit deck. When revealed, return each engaged Nazgul enemy to the staging area. If no enemies were returned by this effect, it gains Surge. Okay, get rid of that. Let's keep going. We have another Surge. Black Steed. Attached to a Nazgul enemy in play. Yeah, we have one. Bummer. It gains at the end of the... it gains, let's see, minus 10 engagement cost, and at the end of the refresh phase, it will move back to the staging area. Oh, man. Okay, and that's Surge. So we will keep drawing. So we have another Morgul. That's a Surge. Oh, yeah, we don't have any more Nazgul in the staging area, so we'll just go ahead and get the next one. Are you serious? Okay. Get rid of that. Still a Surge. Oh, my gosh. Another Surge. When revealed, at the end of the phase, each enemy in the staging area engages the first player. If the One Ring is exhausted, this effect cannot be canceled. Wow. Okay. So we will go ahead and keep that out so I don't forget at the end of this phase. And then we'll flip this. Oh, finally. Bamfurlong. Response. After the players travel to Bamfurlong, each player engaged with a Nazgul enemy may ready a hero he controls. Ooh, cool. Ooh, and that gives us a victory. Nice. Well, we just added 4 threat to the staging area, so that puts us at 15 to 17. That gives us 2 progress. We complete this stock road, but we don't get enough progress to complete the quest card. And I'm going to say no. I'm ready to move on. So I'm going to exhaust Rosie Cotton. We'll add 2 of her willpower to the willpower of Sam, and so that means we placed 2 progress here. That completes quest 1. Finally! Okay, let's go to quest 2. As Frodo watched, he saw something dark pass across the lighter space between 2 trees, and then halt. It looked like a black shade of a horse led by a smaller black shadow. The black shadow stood close to the point where they had left the path, and it swayed from side to side. Frodo thought he heard the sound of snuffling. The shadow bent to the ground and then began to crawl towards him. When revealed, the first player searches the encounter deck and discard pile for a Black Rider, reveals it, and that cannot be canceled, and adds it to the staging area, shuffle the encounter deck. When a player makes a hide test, add 1 to the total threat for each ally that player controls. Oh, are you serious? And of course down here, when a player fails a hide test, each Nazgul enemy not engaged with the player engages that player. Here's the Black Rider that we had to grab. We have to do a hide 2 test, then we have to add 1 threat for each ally that we control. We control 2 allies, so already there's 2 threat for this hide test. Oh my gosh. So I'm going to exhaust Gildor and Elfhelm. So that's a total of 3, 4, 5. That's a total of 5, and it's already at 2. That has no threat, and that has no... Oh my gosh. Both of those have no threat. That's amazing. So we don't have any issues with a hide test. But now, at the end of the phase, both Black Riders and the Evil Crow are going to go ahead and come at our Rohan deck because of this wonderful Burden card. And I probably should have canceled that by exhausting the One Ring. I didn't. That's my own fault, so let's see if we can survive it. I do think during the travel phase, we're going to get this out of the staging area so that hopefully this forced effect will not come into play. But we'll need 4 questing to get through this next round at least. During the encounter phase, we have no enemies in the staging area because at the end of the quest phase, all 3 of the enemies already engaged us. So we'll go ahead and place 3 shadow cards out here. We are going to have the Evil Crow attack first. We will exhaust Grimbjorn, even though that seems kind of crazy. He has 4 shield. He's attacking for nothing. We do have a shadow effect. Attacking enemy makes an additional attack after this one. Yeah, you're not going to get a chance because we're going to go ahead and do our response. We'll spend one of these resources, move this down to 2. We'll attack for 4. So this is telling us what our attack is. 4 attack, minus 2 shield. Evil Crow's gone. Doesn't get a chance to attack again. Then what we'll do is we'll go ahead and exhaust our Rohan mount to ready Grimbjorn again. We'll then exhaust Grimbjorn a second time, and we'll have this really bad one over here attack. He still only has 5 attack, and remember, Grimbjorn has 4 defense because he now has a leadership resource. And we have no shadow effect, so 5 minus 4, that's only 1 point of damage. We'll spend 1 resource, and he'll attack for 4 minus 2 shield, so he'll put 2 points of damage on this Black Rider. It's not enough, though, to take him out. And then this Black Rider attacks for 5, and I'm going to have the Snowborn Scout over here defend. He's so toast. We have no shadow effect. He attacks for 5. Snowborn Scout is gone. Bummer. I really wanted him out until I got out my Eothane, but alas, I couldn't do it. And I have no one left to attack, so that'll end the round. This Black Rider will jump back into the staging area, which is wonderful because it's going to add 4 threat to the staging area as well. I almost forgot, I have not used my Warden of Healing, so we'll go ahead and heal this 1 point of damage from Grimbjorn, and now we'll refresh for the next round. Frodo will go ahead and move on over to the Hobbit deck. Whew, oh, this is a 3. We'll place that on Grimbjorn. I almost forgot, each player will increase threat by 1, so 19 for our Hobbit deck and 35 for our Rohan deck. And then we'll each draw a card, and we have, oh nice, Elrond's Council and Arwen Unduil. Let's go ahead and stop it here. It's getting late, and I think I'll try and finish this up tomorrow. So why don't you guys watch this, let me know if I made any mistakes, and then I'll try and finish this up next time. Assuming that I don't kill Frodo. If I do, then we might have to start over. That's okay. That's kind of how it works. This one is hard, especially with these decks. This is hard. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you at the next stop.